Hey, and welcome in everyone to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. I'm Tim Sohn, hanging out over here with Sohn Social Media Solutions, here with the bears, the turkeys, the occasional human being, and Jim Fuse. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's been raining outside, but that's okay because I was really been excited since you told us that you had reached out to Adrian and he said he would love to be on the show because I mean, I've been following Adrian for a while now, a little bit of a stalker. You may not know that, Adrian, but being in the Ecamm Academy that you've had previously, taking part in your Zoom, leveling up your Zoom with Ecamm. And it's funny is
Yeah.
I've had Ecamm for a long time, like back when you could just buy it one time. So I know a lot
Yes.
of people don't like us because of that, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. Thank you, Ecamm, for grandfathering us that invested in you a long time ago. But I had just never really used it because some of it just seems so complex. But you really break it
Yeah.
down into like Barney style for me. I'm an old guy, I'm in my mid 50s. I know it's hard to believe. But I
It is
love
very
what it
hard.
lets you
I'm catching
do
you up.
for I love what it lets you do. And I also love what you're doing with your son. I think it's so cool how you guys are able to work together, make it
Yeah.
like a family business, and maybe eventually you'll get him out of his shell a little bit because he is seemed to be the quieter of the two of you. But
He is. Bless him, he's not wanting that though, really. I know I keep kind of shoving him on camera. But he's very happy in the background, and yeah, maybe I should be happy with that, because if he suddenly gets too good, I'm going to be the one going, hang on, can I do a few shows? But it's not because I'm sitting on him, honestly. He's welcome to come and take the stage if he wants. He doesn't know
Yeah.
we're talking about him. He's sitting over there. I got my headphones in, but
Yeah. So
no,
so
it's
this is
fantastic
yeah.
working with him.
So this is an international show today, and so Adrian, you wanna tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you're like not just with Ecamm. I know you really want to help people level up their video presentation skills.
Yeah. And it wasn't ever an intention of mine. I didn't kind of set out at any point and go, I'm going to teach people to do video. I've been a photographer for 15 years or so professionally, and then I chased down. I think a lot of us get this bug for this whole online business, and I could create something and I could just kind of sit back and people will buy it, And so years ago, I had this idea really and thought this would be so cool to do. And I tried a whole load of rubbish things that didn't work. But then photography, it made sense. I created an online photography course. And it wasn't until I joined a community of other people trying to promote their different courses in different things that people were going, how do you do that video? How come you look so good on video? And a few of them are going, if you created a course on that, we'd buy it. And I went, okay, we can pivot, we can change our plans around. And so, yeah, so I never set out expecting to do this. Got no kind of video background really, but only what I've learned and how I've done it, and really through my photography background. So it turned into that really. And then I started creating these videos, and just like what you were saying, actually, Jim, I'm saying, we're on about recording into your memory cards and things like this. And I'm saying, I don't suppose you've got Ecamm, have you, this software? And we're back in the day really. And people are going, yeah, I did download it, but I never use it. And I'm saying, right, come on, we need to unpack this thing. You've got a real powerhouse here that you're not using. And so, yeah, whether people were just recording videos or streaming or, using it as it's grown out more recently, using it out onto Zoom and things and LinkedIn, it's just become a fantastic tool that just keeps growing and growing. So that's why it naturally, my audience really was people that I want to help level up their video. And then I'm going, right, well, now you're looking like this, you should be out there because you're going to be in the top few percent of people in terms of quality. And then we also teach YouTube as well. So again, I'm saying to people, look, we're finding most of our customers discover us on YouTube. So let's show you how to do that. And then our kind of final course is Kajabi. And we teach people, again, people said, how did you do this Ecamm Academy? We absolutely love the way it all fits together and works. So I went, let's do an academy to teach people this. So every time we've created an academy, it's been out of listening to our audience and going, okay, there's enough people saying they're interested in it. Let's create something.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And we want to thank everyone who's tuning in. Kathy is here. Good morning,
Hey,
Kathy. Thank you so much for being here. Gabe is here. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you for shining the light bright on all the LinkedIn live streamers. We appreciate you so much. Yes. Chris Stone is in the house. He says Ecamm rocks.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you, Chris Stone. And Chris is the one who created our amazing intro video for the Tim and Jim show. So thank you, Chris.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
He does a great job with that. Yeah, I mean,
I was sitting behind this big countdown, really kind of going, oh, there's I feel like a pressure now to really deliver after this big boom, you know. Now it's Adrian.
Yeah.
Yes, and Gretchen is here. Good morning, Gretchen. Or whatever time it is, wherever you all are in the world. Yes. So thank you all, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We appreciate you all being here. And today we're going to be talking about how to level up your lives and Zooms with Ecamm. But first, Adrian, before we talk about leveling up, why do you think people should be live streaming in the first place? Let's start there.
Yeah. Great point. There's different ways, and we still make YouTube videos. You know, we haven't kind of ditched it and gone, right, we're all on to live, because I don't like it when I hear people say, I go live because it's easier and I don't have to edit it. And I think, no, that really shouldn't be your priority for this. But I do think there's a whole nother level, like you're just doing here. You know, you can call people out and you can get to have this conversation with people. And my experience has been, I think I really kind of fell in love with this when I've been the other side of it, and I've spotted somebody go live who's, you know, someone that I really look up to, and I jump on and I put a little comment in, and they'll go, oh, hey, Adrian, good to have you here. Adrian does a really good video training, actually, and made me feel really good. And I thought, at that point, I realized this is the kind of power and impact we have on our audience that show up to join in and watch along with us, to actually make them feel special. And it's all about building this know, like, and trust, isn't it? And it's relationships that we can have. Jim just mentioned before we came on, actually, about like networking and the power of this. And I think this is our way to virtually network, isn't it? And I guess Zooms is a level up from that, when you can all be there, faces on camera and things like this. But for a lot of people, actually choosing just to stay back, and they don't want to come on camera and be there, but it's quite nice. They can carry on doing what they're doing, but as they're listening along, they can just grab the phone or type into the computer a little comment back. And yeah, I sort of find it's a next level up, really, from just creating videos and putting them out there, just to build community.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I think too, I think sometimes it's the realness of being live versus the recording, because you know, how many times do people sometimes maybe record a video, cutting it, editing it before they put it out there? And personally, I mean, I've done that sometimes, but a lot of times I like to just record it that first time and put it out there, because then I think people connect with that better. Like, hey, that's the real person. And I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, where I would still prefer to make a video would be if a lot of our content is around Ecamm, you know, and if I'm doing it live and I'm sort of going, can you see this on screen? It's, you know, it's not great, it's not big. If I'm recording it, I can really zoom in on that bit, and I can put a little circle around to show what I'm clicking, and so I can definitely take it to a higher level and make it more easier for that viewer to be able to take in. And if I totally hear what you're saying, and I think it depends on the content, doesn't it? If I'm doing a tutorial and it's someone has gone to YouTube going, how do I do this? If I can make that as easy and as effective as possible for them, then I'd rather edit it and do that. But you're right, when you're talking about a topic and more of a discussion, yeah, absolutely, it comes across much better on live.
Yeah, because I know, like, I record product videos for Amazon, and that's where Ecamm's really come in handy, because, you know, and I know I'm just in a little window, but like I can just do this with my Stream Deck and then I have an overhead camera so I can have the product down here. So like if I'm
Yeah.
talking about this microphone, people can see it. And then when I'm done, I can go back to this look and, say, hey, thanks. Hope that helped you. And
Yeah.
so, and then I can do we do some editing on top of that, right? We can put all kinds of overlays. So I really think that that's one of the things, to your point, of the recorded versus the live, that really makes things a lot of fun.
Yeah. And we just had someone the other day actually said, he'd emailed me and he'd signed up for our academy, and he kind of went, I've just had an epiphany. He said, I'm just realizing actually I'm recording a podcast show where I want to use this. And he said, I'm not going to need to do any editing. He said, I can actually do, like you've just had there, the little intro. He said, I can go from that. I can go to my show, and then I can have that at the end. I can have it play out at the end and that end it. And he said, I'm not going to have to do any editing. And I think it really can allow you with overlays. And if you know that it's more of a presentation that you're doing your video on, your training, whatever it be, and you don't need to do that kind of zooming in and out and clever things, you can absolutely get all this queued up. And you're just showing there, I don't know if folk realize that Stream Deck that you've got there is essential, isn't it? It becomes so powerful to be able to just press a button. And that's, they're the kind of tricks that you can learn. And as you develop and get into this, and you just go, how can I keep making this easier and slicker, really? And it's a fantastic little tool for that.
And I think that's a key point, right? It makes it easier. So many people, I mean, the fact that even though we're using StreamYard, we're able to use Ecamm as a virtual camera with this product and do a lot of this visual graphic stuff that people are saying, oh, well, I want to be able to do this and do that. Can you, they'll ask StreamYard to make it. It's like, you can already do it with things like Ecamm. You just got to let your imagination, I guess, grow. I mean, Chris and I will actually go live on Amazon using Ecamm, where he'll bring me in as the guest, but we use StreamYard because we multi-stream that way instead of using something like Restream. So we find it work great that way.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think I do this a lot. I use Restream rather than StreamYard purely because it's integrated inside of Ecamm. So that chat comes back into Ecamm then, and I don't need to have kind of two windows open. But same idea, and pushing it out to different platforms. Really powerful. I was going to say as well, I think that what you're just saying there about your different slides and things, it actually kind of forces me to think through what I'm talking about in advance as well. Because I'm like, okay, I need to do some prep here, because what scenes am I going to need to be able to cut to?
Right.
Do I want a second camera, an overhead camera? Do I want a slide to come up? Do I want, and so it does actually force me to be a little bit more polished when I'm actually coming to preparing this.
Yes. Jim, so do you want to take the next question for Adrian?
Sure. So what is Ecamm Live, Adrian?
Yeah. I mean, initially, and probably, Jim, you like me, when we first discovered Ecamm, it was there as a tool to do our Facebook lives and things. And, you could on Facebook just sort of hit go live, and there were no options. There was nothing that you could do with it. Ecamm is one of a few tools that you can use. As you say, you're using StreamYard here. Same kind of thing, really. It's a tool that's allowing us to do our live streaming, but to really level that up and to put graphics on, to do the things that you're doing here. Just takes it up to the next level, really. And I think people are wanting to see that. And if we want to stand out and really get spotted, we need to be using a tool like this. Personally, I like Ecamm, and I think what sort of differences in Ecamm really would be the flexibility and where you and please don't say anything negative towards StreamYard, because it's this absolutely the beauty of StreamYard is the simplicity really of camera one, camera two, screen share, and that's it. We can kind of go with that. What I love in Ecamm is that I can go, right, do I want you both that side, or do I want one of you on this side and one on that? And actually, I'd like to put you in circles, not boxes. And it allows me to really create scenes. And scenes are really like, if you were doing a PowerPoint presentation, it's like those slides, isn't it? In something like PowerPoint is the way I look at it. And I would go, right, so what do I want to demonstrate? We were just using it the other weekend, Jim, showing how you can pull this in. You can use this with Zoom as well, for instance. And actually, any of those pop-ups and things on my window, if I've got a Zoom chat pop-up, I can pull that onto my screen in Ecamm, and I can share that. I can send that one back out over to my Zoom call. And PowerPoint presentations, I can actually bring this in, and I can get rid of all the bits around the edge that I don't want people to see. And I can either put myself in front of it or put that in a box, and just incredibly powerful. And I don't think there's anything like it if you want to be more creative with your lives and kind of, to excuse the pun, get out of the boxes and kind of style this up exactly as you want, rounding edges, doing all these different things. Ecamm is absolutely a great tool for it. We could demo some of those things if you wanted to, or entirely up to you how you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be great. I just would add to what you're saying, Adrian. I kind of look at, like, StreamYard is founded on, the principles of stream stability, professional looking streams and ease of use. But when you're ready to, what I call, level up, that's what Ecamm is. Ecamm is like, when you're wanting to do all these things, quit asking. It's kind of like asking your Volkswagen to drive like a Porsche. It's just not going to happen. Ecamm is like a Porsche when it comes to, what you can do with your streaming capability. Because you have to get, like, thank goodness the M1 Max came out, because that makes Ecamm a dream, because people,
it does.
with the older Macs, like, my fan is screaming and it would start freezing up. And now that, I don't know, for me, it doesn't happen. So it was worth the investment to get the Mac Mini.
Totally. I think it's the best thing we've ever bought. And I was just talking to someone. I was going through my comments on YouTube this morning, actually, and someone saying, is there not a PC version of this? And I'm kind of going, it actually would be worth the investment. And there's a lot of people I know who have gone, there's my PC sitting there, and here's a Mac that I just use for streaming, basically just so that they can get Ecamm.
Right.
So obviously would be a benefit of using something like StreamYard, of course. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, doesn't matter what computer you're on, rather.
Right.
So now, I hope this doesn't make you cringe too much, Adrian, but we're going to show a brief video from our sponsor, StreamYard, and we'll be right back.
Found some old bad video of me.
And we are back on the Tim and Jim Show with Adrian Salisbury. We're having a hopefully not too uncomfortable, exciting conversation, learning all about Ecamm with our amazing sponsor, StreamYard, here on the Tim and Jim Show. And it's a great conversation, and we're learning so much today from the king of live streaming over here, Adrian.
I don't know about that, but
yes.
No, and please let me add as well. StreamYard's a fantastic tool, and Gage does a great job with it all. And I think it's just going, actually, who's our audience really, and what is our main goal and purpose of this product as opposed to another one. And I think I actually loved when we were in San Diego a few years ago, just seeing Ken and Glenn and Gage standing there having a chat around tech
That's
stuff.
awesome.
And I'm like, how cool is that there isn't a competition here in that sense, and both were sort of supporting and helping each other. And I think I certainly wouldn't knock StreamYard. There's plenty of people that have gone, actually, this would be the platform for you.
And they do, and they actually, like I said, they work well together. I mean, we're able to bring Ecamm in as a virtual cam on here and never have any issues. Can. So I know, actually, Chris and I were talking in the StreamYard Industry Showcase about Amazon Live, and we talked about using Ecamm as a tool in StreamYard when we produce our stuff on Amazon. So it's definitely, Don't feel like they're going to be afraid that you're talking about Ecamm, because not everybody, to your point, not everybody's willing to cross over that bridge of like, now I've got to create scenes, and how do I get my audio to work? I mean,
that said, you don't have to, go. Likewise, I think you could actually on Ecamm, you can just hit go live on the thing, and you can just show up like this without any graphics and that. It's the beauty is you've just. Well, this is it. You got all this stuff here. This is very much what we love doing with our training, and it really excites me when I can just see people going, "Wow, how are you doing that? You got to show me that one." That's where I get a real kick out of the training side of it. But I can. Obviously, I've only got the one camera going at the minute here, but I can absolutely just show how in Ecamm we would create and put something together very similar, almost to what you've got there, really.
Sure, absolutely.
If I tell you what I'll do is, if I go into my, it's going to loop a little bit. I'll push my Chrome window over the side. What I was just thinking of doing I can do this live demo mode then, you see, is what I was just thinking. So I could actually zoom in a bit over here. This is the Ecamm control panel, and you can move all of these tabs around as you want and take them on and off as you want them there, really.
Yes.
But if I were just to create a new scene, let's just have a look at what you've got going there. So I create a new scene here, and I call it interview. I'm going to say +2 like this. And what I can do is start from a blank scene. I've just disappeared off camera, but I'll be back in a minute, don't worry. And I can start with a background down here, and I can choose a color that I think I want back there. And then I build it up in stages, and I'm saying, okay, I want to appear over this side. And these are the bits that I mean, guys, as well, that the total flexibility with this, that I can, no one's telling me what shape this box needs to be. I can put these nice little frames around it. We can actually kind of round off these edges. We can make borders and adjust these radius like this. I think, okay, this is my main camera. I want to sit here. And now I could just drag this over and create another little scene over here. I'm just going to take those bits off the screen so they're not in my way. And then I go, right, okay, that's my second camera. And now I can just create my third one as easy as this. And I can say, I want this to be guest 2, and I want this to be guest 1. And I grab these like this. In fact, let's pull them down a bit. What's not going to work is there we go. I've got an Ecamm logo down there that I can grab and resize to fit over here. My background colors, probably not the best. Let's go back for the blue one. It will just fill in a bit better back there. But you get a feel for how quick this is to, I've got no real restrictions over here as to what this looks like. And this is the sort of stuff that really, to me, makes Ecamm stand out. And I just find with this magic mouse, it jumps around a bit. So I can do something like this, and then I can lock this down, and I can save this out, and I can say, right, there's a scene. I tend to bring my comments on window as well. So if I'm on a live as you are, and I've got a chat going, I can create a scene over here that brings in this comment feed that comes in at the side of me. One of the cool ones that I enjoy showing off is this kind of writing on screen, and
that's awesome.
We can do. I remember getting people that were coming onto I was getting messages from people going, I've just been on this guy's live and he was writing on the screen. How was he doing it? And I'm trying to unpick it and work it out. And
now are you using an iPad for that, Adrian? For the
it's a green screened iPad.
Oh wow!
And what app do you prefer to use for that, for the green screen?
This is GoodNotes.
GoodNotes. Okay. Okay.
There were a few, we looked at several apps for it. I've actually got a video on my YouTube channel showing exactly how to do this.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go watch that. We got to put
Yeah,
that in the chat.
it's so cool, you know, and for those that kind of want to be able to do, you know, these kind of demonstrations, and they're talking and they got their charts and they're saying how your sales are going to go up here and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, to be honest. I'm definitely a blokey bloke, and I can't write. In fact, even when we were making that video of how to do that writing on screen, I kind of went, and you can do this. I couldn't write my name and say you can do this. I had to edit it. So I really, my brain won't let me multitask. So I do have to pause while I do a doodle over here. But it's been good sometimes. You know, I mentioned Kajabi, and we talk about there for customers about trying to think of a pipeline really, or a funnel that they're doing. And it can be really useful to draw that and lay it out in front of you. Yeah, just super cool things that will make people come off of your show or your call and go, how are you doing that? And then they start talking about, you need to go and watch the show over here because these guys are, really going for it.
Yeah. And I think this kind of, and I don't know, Tim, if this was a question you had, but this ties into the whole using this on Zoom. And you kind of hit on this a little bit earlier, Adrian. I mean, I love the fact that when I'm using Ecamm even if I'm just attending, right? If I'm not the host, I don't have to get permission to share my screen, to do what you just did. I can just do it. Yeah. And it gives you so much more control. Not to mention, visually, you usually blow everybody's minds by the fact that you're doing this.
I find, and it doesn't matter whether it's Zoom or StreamYard or any of these other platforms, really. If you can't very easily share your screen, or I tend to find I'm going, right, so screen share, Chrome, and that tab, and it's not. Whereas for us, I can set this up now, and I've set this new scene up. I could put it under a button, and boom, there we go. We're straight into our next. It's what we were touching on earlier with having a Stream Deck and being able to program buttons in that sit here in front of me. I've planned it in advance, and I know that I want to do a screen share. So at this point, I press this button, and away I go over there. And it just cuts out all of that. As good as any of us are, there is going to be a bit of share a screen. Where do I want to share? And all of this kind of stuff. It just takes all that out. And it actually, again, when you're screen sharing, if you were trying to come on screen, if I was doing something like this and demonstrating a presentation, if I were doing this as a screen share, I'm also still up there in a little box unless I click another button that says hide myself from the view. Right. And it's easy for me to just go, right, spotlight this video, and it kind of forces everybody to see me like this. It really worked well with Zoom. We would try and, it was something one of the cool things that we played with Zoom was bringing in the chat. And I don't know if I've got this still set up actually over here. I might need to, there it is. So again, if you're all right with me just talking like this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure. Again, over here, I've got Zoom. I've just kind of pushed everything down here, so it's not all looping around. But in fact, let me change that camera over because that wouldn't be as bad then. So here's my Zoom window down here, and I've pulled out the chat box and the polls and quizzes, which is a really cool feature actually inside of Zoom. And now I can do this. And so as people are chatting on the Zoom call, I'm now bringing them over to Ecamm, and on my window, I'm going, right, so, I can see all this chat going on. And again, it's one of those things people go, how are you doing that? I've never seen anybody really cool. Bring the chat from Zoom on screen. The only thing I have to say with it is you need to spell out to people that it's not just the public chat, it's the private chat as well. So when Tim's messaging,
I remember you
going,
saying that during
get rid of him, he's you can actually I believe you can actually, as the host, change it in the settings there to say no. So participants can chat with host to everyone. And actually, it doesn't do that. Someone said to me the other day, you can actually turn
I
it
think
off in the
I think
settings.
it's either on or off. I don't know if it lets you do there may be and you might have to go into the dashboard on the web to make
And
that.
isn't that horrible?
Yeah.
Sorry, Zoom, but that control panel on your website is just pages long. But yeah, that's what I'd like to be able to do, is actually say no private chat. It's only public, but you can catch it. But polls and things again, if I change that around to, instead of it being, so what I'm able to do again, I'll quickly show you over here how I'm doing this. Is I can this is an overlay, so my camera's down there underneath, and then I've brought in an overlay, and I say, what do I want that to be? And I can select a zoom, and I choose which of those zoom overlays I want it to be, and I can actually do this and trim out these areas on there that I don't want people to see, line it all up. Yeah, so that again, you could be on your Zoom call, you send somebody away and say, right, go and have a play, go and answer this, potentially kind of. So I realize that mutes me while I put it on, but you could do that. You could do like a 30-second little countdown that went, right, you go and answer this, and then we'll come back on in a few minutes. Incredible. The one really cool if we've got time.
Oh, we've got time if you do. Absolutely.
You can see why we've kind of made a whole academy out of this. Is there's just so much stuff that you could do. But one of the other big ones that I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll end my Zoom meeting, so that's one less thing on my screen. One of the other big things for people is doing presentations and doing PowerPoint or keynote presentations. And in the past, we've had workarounds for it, and there's been, you can bring those slides on and do very static ones like I just showed here. This is just an image that's in the background, and I can move this around and change the shape of it and things. What we've been able to do recently, I'd only spotted it in the last probably 9 months inside a keynote, is when you used to do, like, if you actually played your slide, if you want that animation and things going on in your PowerPoint presentation, it used to be that if you hit play, it took over the whole screen, and everyone's going, well, I can't use that because now I can't see anything behind it. Right. But they've now built in this option that you can play it out, instead of it being as full screen, it can play it out in a separate window. And with this same kind of thinking, that with Ecamm, I can basically choose anything on my screen there that's shareable. I can now go, in fact, let's do it. So I can create a new, let's call a new scene here, and we'll call it PowerPoint. It's keynote. So sorry, keynote, but again, I could come at this with, I change my source to blank, and then I say, let's bring on the same idea of bringing on this presentation, but this time around, I'm going to select keynote, and I want my demo presentation. Here it comes, and I can do exactly the same thing by cropping out the edges that I don't want. I don't need to have a board. I could fill the whole screen with it if I wanted, or I can do it like this and put a bit of a frame and a border around it. I can bring myself on the front of that just by, again, let's go with a little circle just to break it up a bit, and maybe I stick myself up here. I don't know. It's just not my best work. And Anna's on, and Anna and Fulgen's are absolute bosses at doing all this design work in Ecamm. So forgive me, Anna, if you're thinking, what's he doing over there? But now if I pan back on my screen so you can see what I'm actually, so down here is my keynote presentation. This is this slide I've copied up here. So now I could have my keynote slides. I've got no notes in this. This is just a little basic demo.
Right.
I can now click through this, and it will do all my animations, what's coming up next. I'll tell you what, I've put myself up there. I should be down here, shouldn't I? This is kind of the whole point of this, is that I can be on slide. how cool is that? You know,
that is really cool.
I can have that full
Amazing.
presentation up that I want to run through. I can keep all my animations, all the things coming in. There could be videos playing in that. And this, whether it be going out to a live stream or whether this be going out to that Zoom call, all of a sudden I'm really leveling up what I'm doing now in my presentations. And again, the comments are going to be going crazy of people going, how do you do that? You know, it just absolutely sets you up as a professional if you start showing up and doing all these cool things like this.
And Adrian, so you can do this with Keynote or PowerPoint.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
The trick is to when you instead of just hitting play in the main tab where you're editing it, if you go to the menu at the top, again, let's just jump up here. If I'm in Keynote down here, I've got an option to play, and it will say play in full window or play in full screen or play in window. And then I can just position this wherever I want on my screen, and Ecamm will pick up on that then and say, right, so you just want to share that bit and not the other.
That is really cool. Really cool.
We can
Amazing.
I never know when to stop, really. This gets all the other cool one is to be able to take these borders and things off, and actually very easily, I think it's still there, we can pop up a green screen like this, and all of a sudden now I can say I want to put a green screen on and go transparent, and now I'm properly sitting right in the middle of this. So you know, you say it's complicated, a lot of these things, but you're seeing it. Obviously I'm using this day in, day out, but with practice, it's actually I'm just saying, what does it actually say? Save your presentation. I don't even know where it's going on, but you can see, you know, with practice it's pretty quick to do, and I create this now, and now I've made my show so I can cut between this and this one and back to our interview and my comments, and yeah.
Wow. Well, and I will say you have really good lighting, because some people would bring up a green screen and they would start to, like, you know, turn invisible on parts.
Yeah. A couple of things with that. Firstly, I tell everybody this, it really does start with the camera. I have customers in our academies that go, I've got like 10 lights around me and it still doesn't work. And if it's an automatic, if it's a webcam or a phone even, it's going to keep doing this auto, and as much light as you put on, it's just going to dim it down inside the camera, because it's going, no, that's not correct. It would be screaming at me with this, because it'd be saying it's too dark, I need to brighten everything up. Hey, Carl. I haven't seen Carl for a while. So yeah, I would always say camera's actually the most important element in getting a good green screen. And also, little tip here for you, taking your camera off of auto white balance. Again, we've seen it in academies where people will suddenly, like that, pull up a green screen or pull something in behind them, and it just takes the color straight out of their face. And there's something about that green that your webcam is going, it's trying to balance out what it thinks is the correct color. And in doing so, the majority of the times, it just takes all the color out of you. So what we can do in a camera is manually, and I've just been on a call with someone an hour ago doing exactly this, that we can actually use a gray card, and we can set the white balance manually in a camera. And whether I put green or blue or anything else behind me, it doesn't change my skin tones.
Wow.
So there's a little tip for you.
Yeah, that's great tips. And Carl Sullivan, it's great to see you. And I met Carl Sullivan through the Ecamm Live Academy when I was in it. And we've stayed in touch, and has become a great friend, and have collaborated. And he's going to be one of the live streamers in a 24-hour virtual event I'm organizing with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society coming up on March 8th and 9th. So shout out to Carl, for sure.
He's a good man. Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Adrian. So tell us about, you have your Ecamm Live Academy going on, or is that coming up soon?
It is, yeah.
So tell us about that. Tell us about the Academy, and also how can people sign up for that?
Cool. Yeah, thank you. I'm just seeing if have I already got open here a screen share window? Do you know what? I think I closed it down. How did I do that? I'm going to make one. Right. Come over here a second. I'm going to take this one off.
There you go.
And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick screen share, and I can choose from this one. I want it to be Chrome. This is exactly what I was saying. You would have all this queued up in advance. And I can zoom in over here and let you have a look here and share a page like this. So this is my Ecamm Live Academy. Yeah, we run it twice a year now. So we're running it next week, and then we'll be running it again in October. So we originally looked at this and were planning on doing it as, in fact, I will come back on camera there. We originally were looking at running this as a online course. You know, we got all this content, we make all these videos, we just put it up as an online course for people to work through. And then we realized actually we ran it the first time through as a live event, and we had such overwhelming response from people saying, we love it. We love the community. You know, you're just saying there about how you met up with Carl, and you know, you're still connected and working together. And we went, we wouldn't get this, or we wouldn't be able to create this kind of space if people just paid up, joined, and off they went. And so we went, no, we want to do this as a live event. So that's what we've done. We're on this will be our 12th, I think, Academy that we've run now.
Wow.
And the format is, we run it. So the dates are coming up here, 28th to the 11th of March. And the idea is that each day across the first week, we drip out a series of videos. We've put it into 5 levels. So the stuff we're doing here, don't panic. You know, you won't be having all this thrown at you on day one. We literally do start off on day one, unboxing Ecamm and how to do the real basics of this. And if that's as far as you can get through that training, it's not a problem, because all the videos that we give you are yours for life. And as Ecamm updates and new features come in, we update them. And anyone that's come through any of our previous academies, we've had 1,500 people come through now. Every one of those will get all these updates for free as they come out. So that's pretty cool in itself. Then I show up every day to do a session quite like this, to be honest, you know, answering people's questions. How are they getting on specifically on the training we've done today? So it really keeps people all on the same page together, and it's really working well. The second week, there's no extra training really. There's a slight change that I can say in a second, but the second week is really your opportunity to go, okay, you know, a bit overwhelmed by all that stuff that I had. Let's pick off 1 or 2 things and let's have a go at that during the second week. And actually the whole group, we're there for 2 weeks running the training. The group then turns into a community group, and we'll be there until our next academy in October. So, you know, we've only kicked out the guys that were in there from October. We're still practicing and challenging each other and doing daily or weekly lives. And yeah, it really works well. As you can see, it's $199 for all of this. And actually every customer that comes through is entitled to a 25% discount off an Ecamm Pro license. So that's the equivalent of $96. And I also talk midway through about the video side of things in actually my Pro Video Academy. And again, we make an offer in there to give $100 off to anybody who wants to come through our Pro Video Academy. So cost-wise, you know, there's some sort of bundles and bits in there. This is our sales page, which I'm not sure if you've got a link or popped in a link for this. Yeah.
Yes.
Tim's nodding. Cool. So you can head over. This is really for someone to come on and have a look at a live that we did last night. And then Anna, who's in the chat over here, or was, Anna and Fulgens are coming on this time around to do a little masterclass for us all about design and branding and clever things that you can do. Stuff like this that you can pop down on your screen. This is all kind of inspired by these guys. And then our friend in Anderson Gray's coming in talking about repurposing content. You know, why just do a live if you can then send it out to be a podcast and a blog post and all these other things? And then this is a new one to me. This is Betsy, who's been really recommended as a speaker. She's an expert on Zoom. And she's been playing around with this, having a lot of fun and success with these virtual escape rooms. Huh. So I don't know a lot about that. I'm very keen to hear from her in that little masterclass as well. But yeah, then on the page here, there's testimonials, there's loads of comments and things. Do go and check it out. Some other bonuses as well, some freebies and stuff to get you started and going. Yeah. There it is. It starts on Monday. You can head over and register straight away, and it's $199. Yeah, and it's now our twice-a-year event that we're having a lot of success and a lot of fun with.
Awesome, Adrian. Where are some other places that people can connect with you outside of the Academy? Where would you want people to connect with you?
You could head to adriansalisbury.com. is the easiest way, because at the bottom of that page is all my social links, because you can find me on most places under Adrian Salisbury or Adrian Salisbury HQ. But if you wanted to head to that page, you'll find everything there, all the other academies. We do have a free community Facebook group as well, Adrian Salisbury Community, over on Facebook, that you can check out and come and join. And LinkedIn, come find me on LinkedIn, because we're pretty new on LinkedIn, and I gave up on it a long time ago, and now that I've been finally accepted to do LinkedIn Live, I'm trying to catch up over there. So I'd really appreciate a connection over there from people.
Awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
that is exciting. Yeah. So Jim, who is our guest for next week?
Yeah. So next week we have a friend of mine, Nancy May. We're going to be talking about how she just recently wrote a book that talks about how you can actually, a lot of us have aging parents and some of the challenges with that, and some really good tips. And as I get older, I start to think I probably need to send my kids the book so they don't leave me laying in the basement someday.
Well, we're excited to have her on for sure. And I just wanted to share this event that's coming up that I briefly mentioned before, coming up on March 8th and 9th. It's called Open Your Hearts and Wallets for Blood Cancers. It's a 24-hour live stream fundraiser. We have 13 or 14 live streamers who are volunteering their hearts, their time, their energy. We're going to be interviewing cancer survivors. There are musicians and entertainers. There are individuals and businesses that are donating products and services that we'll be giving away during the fundraiser. So just thank you to everyone. More details will be coming. These are all the people all the live streamers: Carol Ulker, Stefan Kaplan, Dorothy Graham, Odell, Jim Fuse, Mark Lee, DJ Durante, Brian Schulman, Nancy Barrows, Carl Sullivan, Denny Gold, Nancy Barrows, Russ Johns, Robert Murray. We'll be interviewing the Lehigh Valley here in Pennsylvania, Girl of the Year. There's two children who are highlighted in these campaigns with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So we'll be interviewing the mom, Laura Rappa, of the Girl of the Year during the show that I and Kara do, Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer, on Tuesday night at 8:00 Eastern Time. And then we'll also be interviewing the mom of the Boy of the Year. Stay tuned for when we're working on that. And then these are all special guests: Jim Calhoun, Ashok, Rachel Druckenmiller will be performing, and Steve Stockmall, and more. So just wanted to say thank you. Stay tuned for more details, and just so grateful for everyone that is volunteering. And it's just such an incredible collaboration among many, many, many people. So thank you all.
Yeah. And Adrian, looking forward to maybe having an adult beverage with you in San Diego in a few weeks.
That would be fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
Meeting, of course. I mean, not the beverage. That's
right.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. It's something special about meeting in the flesh, isn't it? Actually seeing people face to face. But
yeah,
absolutely. It's when you find out I'm 4 foot tall, really.
Well, I'm not much taller than you, so don't worry.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's been great to see you guys.
Thank you,
Yes,
Adrian.
and definitely check out the Ecamm Academy. If you haven't done
Yes.
it before, you should do it. And if you've done it, you might want to do it again because they keep updating what Ecamm can
Yeah.
do. I've been watching some of the stuff in the community. Doc Rock is dropping all kinds of crazy knowledge bombs that I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. And it
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
makes me excited as a school kid right now.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, Jim. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. See you next week. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.